They always described her as soft. Soft voice, soft boundaries. In family photos, she stood slightly to the side, hands folded, smiling without showing too many teeth. The kind of woman people assumed would forgive first and question later. Her name was Farah. When she noticed the credit card missing from her wallet, she didn't panic. She didn't even immediately assume theft. Her daughter-in-law, Sana, had borrowed it before groceries, decor for family dinners, emergencies, that somehow always included something decorative. Farah had allowed it because saying no required energy she rarely felt like spending. But this time, she hadn't given permission. She stood in her bedroom for a long minute, wallet open in her hand, tracing the outline where the card had been. Her first emotion wasn't anger, it was fatigue. By morning, the notification appeared on her banking app. 18,400 high-end jewelry boutique, 34,600 luxury resort booking, Maldives package, 53,000 total. Farah read the numbers twice, not because she couldn't believe them, because she could. An hour later, her phone buzzed. Loved the gifts. Thanks, Mom. No question mark. No hesitation. Just assumption. Farah didn't respond. She placed the phone on the table and poured tea. Her movements remained steady, deliberate. She remembered the way Sana had begun calling her Mom more frequently over the past year, always paired with a request, always sweetened at the edges, and she remembered something else. Years ago, after a minor fraud scare, her late husband had insisted they upgrade their financial protections, high-limit alerts, mandatory verification for charges above a certain threshold, and an automatic fraud escalation protocol that triggered when a large transaction was flagged as unauthorized. Most of the family had rolled their eyes at the time. Who would steal from us? Her son had said. Farah had never explained the system to anyone in detail. It hadn't felt necessary until now. That evening, her son, Adil, called casually. We're thinking long-term, investments. Travel while we're young. You always say life is short. She listened. He didn't mention the charges, which meant one of two things: he didn't know, or he assumed she wouldn't object. Did you enjoy the trip? She asked evenly. A pause. Trip? So he didn't know. Something settled inside her then. Not rage. Not triumph. Clarity. On Monday morning, Farah contacted the bank. I'd like to report unauthorized charges, she said. The representative's tone shifted immediately at the amount. Procedures activated. Documentation requested. Timeline recorded. The transactions triggered automatic escalation due to their size. Do you know who may have accessed your card? Farah inhaled slowly. I did not authorize these purchases. That was all she said. She did not warn Sana. She did not call her son. She did not send a message correcting the "Thanks, Mom" text. Silence, she had learned, often did more than confrontation. 2 days later, mid-afternoon, there was a knock at the door of Adil and Sana's home. 2 officers, polite, professional. Farah wasn't present, but she later heard every detail. Sana had first looked confused, then annoyed, then pale as the explanation unfolded. Credit card fraud over 50,000 qualified as a felony investigation. The jewelry boutique had already confirmed the cardholder was not present. Surveillance footage showed Sana at the counter, smiling for the camera as she signed. She's my mother-in-law, Sana reportedly said. It was a gift. Officers asked if she had written authorization. She did not. They explained the complaint had been formally filed. The bank had flagged the purchases as disputed. The case would proceed unless the complainant withdrew it. That evening, Adil arrived at Farah's house unannounced. What did you do? He demanded, not shouting, but shaken. Farah gestured for him to sit. She used my card without permission. You could have just called us. I could have. Farah agreed. Her voice was calm, not icy, not emotional. Just precise. You embarrassed her. The police came to our house. She embarrassed herself. Adil ran his hands through his hair. It was just money. Farah looked at him carefully. She had raised him to value effort, to understand what $53,000 meant in hours, in years. It was trust. She said. He didn't respond. Within days, extended family began calling. Some suggested she was overreacting. Others said legal matters should never enter family walls. One aunt whispered, You'll ruin her record. Farah listened to all of it. No one asked why Santa had assumed access. No one asked why gift had replaced permission. The bank continued its process. Lawyers became involved. Eventually, negotiations happened behind closed doors. The jewelry was returned, the trip refunded, restitution agreements drafted. Charges reduced but not erased. It wasn't cinematic. There were no dramatic arrests. No shouting in hallways, just paperwork, consequences. Sana stopped calling her mom. When they met weeks later for a strained family dinner, Sana's tone had changed. Polite, guarded, measured. Farah noticed the difference immediately. There was no affection in the room, but there was caution. Adil avoided her eyes at first. Then, quietly, he said, "You could have trusted us to fix it." Farah met his gaze. "You could have asked." The conversation ended there. Something irreversible had shifted. Farah was no longer the soft background presence, no longer the open wallet with a smile attached, not because she had yelled, not because she had humiliated anyone, but because she had drawn a line and allowed the system, not emotion, to enforce it. In the months that followed, access changed. Cards were never borrowed again. Financial discussions required written clarity. Santa found employment quietly. Adil stopped referencing his mother's savings as if they were family property. Farah did not celebrate. She did not relish the tension that now lingered in gatherings. She sometimes missed the illusion of warmth, but she no longer mistook entitlement for love. And when she looked at her phone, no new "thanks, Mom" messages, no assumptions, she felt something steadier than satisfaction, respect. It had arrived without apology, without renoise, and it was enough.